Golf Pick'em Expert Picks. Brought to you by FootJoy.
We are back once again for another round of picks and predictions sure to go wrong. For Golf Pick'em at the 3M Open located in the NBC Sports Predictor app. I'm Will Gray, joined by Nick Menta. Nick, they're playing this week in Minnesota. I want to start with a marquee matchup. Dustin Johnson and Tony Finau. DJ is the highest ranked guy in the field, but do you have the guts to back someone who just shot 80-80 last week?
I do not, and I was really encouraged by what I saw from DJ at the Travelers. I thought that win would put him back on the right track, and we'd be talking about him as a major favorite over the fall. Now I'm not quite so sure. Tony Finau, on the other hand, the 36-hole leader over the weekend, he struggled on Saturday and Sunday like the rest of the field, but he acquitted himself well. He was T23 at this event last year. He's 10th in birdie average on a course where that matters because you have to go low. I will side with Finau.
If anyone on tour is going to be able to shake off a miscut by a mile, it is Dustin Johnson. The guy will show up on Thursday, and he might not even remember the round that he shot last week at Memorial. So I have no problem shaking this one off, leaning back on the Travelers win, which came a little bit out of nowhere. I think that against a relatively weak field, he is going to shine. Even against Tony Finau, I will take DJ. All right, Nick, this matchup is the English Invasion. Paul Casey and Tommy Fleetwood. Fleetwood playing for the first time since the Players' Championship was canceled. Does he have your vote?
You know, it's a matchup of two excellent ball strikers, and I'll take the one who's actually been, making a couple starts as of late in Casey. I think that Fleetwood's going to play his way into form, and I would expect to hear from him as we, go on this stretch of 3 straight majors in the fall. But for right now, I'll take the guy who at least has 2 competitive starts under his belt, Paul Casey.
I understand the sentiment, but I also don't think that Tommy Fleetwood has neglected his game entirely over the last 4 months, and I'm not sure that 2 starts that didn't really hit a blip on the radar from Paul Casey are enough to sway me. I still think that Fleetwood head-to-head on pretty much any course is going to have the edge over Casey. I don't think this week should be an exception. I know taking a chance coming right out of the gates, but I think Fleetwood could have a really good week this week if the irons are as straight and true as they usually are. All right, Nick, it is the battle of the brothers. Brooks Koepka, Chase Koepka. Who's going to have bragging rights this week in Minnesota?
I did not like hearing Brooks Koepka talk about his knee over the weekend. He told reporters at Memorial that he just went for another MRI recently, and it seems like there might still be a little bit of concern there. That Brooks Koepka is not in the FedEx Cup top 125 is really indicative of just how poorly the season has gone for him. He says he's trying to find his game into the run-up to the PGA here. I'm actually going to go with Chase, who nipped his brother earlier this year in Vegas. It's a flyer, but it's worth it. I'll take Chase.
I was trying to talk myself into taking Chase. I can't quite get there, but you're right. He did beat Brooks in Vegas. He also played decently in Korea when Brooks had to withdraw because of injury. I struggle to really find the positives for Brooks right now. A final round 80 didn't add to that, but still, I think against his brother, I'll take the former world number 1. Matthew Wolff is only 21 years old, but this week, Nick, he is defending a title on the PGA Tour in a matchup against Bubba Watson. Do you think he has the edge?
I do. He went low here last year, wins with that eagle in the 72nd hole, and then went into a lull for the better part of a year. But he bounced back with that runner-up finish to Bryson at Rocket Mortgage. And even though he's only 21 years old, he's already the kind of guy where you'd be hard-pressed to take another player in a birdie fest like the 3M Open. I will take him in a rather sporting defense of his title.
Wow, sporting. I like that. I agree with you. Matthew Wolff is 12th on tour this season in strokes gained off the tee. He's going to have a lot of birdie chances this week, just like he did last year. It's kind of amazing. These guys opened with 77 and 78 last week at Memorial. Both managed to make the cut, so there's a little bit of momentum, but I think there's more for Matthew Wolff. As you said, it was a runner-up a couple weeks ago in Detroit. He played well last week, and I think he's going to do well in defending his title. A matchup of 2 of the richest players on the PGA Tour, both in the top 25 in career earnings. Charles Howell III, Luke Donald. Who you got, Nick?
Yeah, 19th and 24th, respectively, in career earnings.
Not bad.
Just because I had to look that up. I'm going to go with Howell, who's made 11 of 16 cuts this season, who finished in the top 25 when he played here last year, and who's also a professional check casher. Will, who will you take?
Yeah, I agree. It's amazing to think that Charles Howell doesn't have a top 40 finish since the Sony Open in January, but you mentioned he did play well at this event last year despite a 71 on the final day. Luke Donald hasn't been in the top 50 in 4 starts since the break. I think that Howell gets the edge. All right, Nick, if the PGA Tour is playing in Minnesota, we have to talk about the 2 native sons, Tom Lehman, Tim Herron. There are no fans to get riled up this week, but who do you think is going to have a better week?
The matchup everyone has been waiting for, William. PGA Tour Champions obviously has yet to come back from the pandemic. So these are two guys who haven't played competitively in quite a while. I'm going to go with Tom Lehman, who fired 3 rounds in the 60s on this golf course at this event last year and actually played some rounds with Matthew Wolff, who went on to win. I'll take Lehman.
Yeah, Lehman made the cut at this event last year. Herron did not. And Lehman also had a 65 at Colonial a few weeks ago. That has my attention, but my heart is still with Lumpy. I got to go with Herron. If he is as enthusiastic about the play this week as he usually is about his master scripting on Twitter, I think he's going to definitely be the choice in this matchup. Listen, we're talking about a couple of PGA Tour Champions guys. Tough to know who's going to play better, but I think that Lumpy's going to get the edge. All right, Nick, those are our picks for these 7 head-to-head matchups. But as you know, in Golf Pick'em, we need to choose a tournament winner. So who is leaving Sunday with the trophy in Minnesota?
Yeah, I'll take Brendan Todd to try to pick up PGA Tour title number 3 for the 3rd time this year after failing to close 2 54-hole leads. He's acquitted himself quite well this year. I think he's got a POY claim, and let's see if he can't get a 3rd title.
I'm not exactly going to go out on a limb here, but I'll take my chances with Dustin Johnson, who came out of nowhere to win at the Travelers. I know he shot a million last week. He's hitting shots left-handed. He's doing all sorts of stuff that makes it seem like he might not have his head in the game, but this is a new week, a fresh start, a relatively weak field. I think the top is going to shine. I'll take DJ. So those are.
It was only 160. It wasn't a million.
That's true. That is true. It was close, though, for him. So those are our picks. Remember, go on the NBC Sports Predictor app. Make your choices for the 7 head-to-head matchups. Choose a tournament winner. Choose a score. You could compete for $1,000 in guaranteed prizes every week. $50,000 jackpot on the line for a perfect score. For Nick Menta, I'm Will Gray. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you guys next week.
Golf Pick'em Expert Picks. Brought to you by FootJoy.